Yeah. So next we have Christina Davy. Ma'am, over to you. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. How are you? So great. Thank you so much, Reina. That was very nice, and really appreciate everything that you shared. Now, how is everyone tonight? All right. Show me that you're here. Show me that you're here. Take a sign. Send me an emoji. All right. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Now, so I want to share a little bit with you about intimacy, and I was debating if I should talk about sexual intimacy, but then I thought, why shouldn't I actually start with what leads to sexual intimacy, right? Because I think this is what people are really kind of struggling with. Like, what do I have to do every day? Like, how do I get that? I'm been married 20 years, I've been married 5 years, whatever. And, now with COVID, I'm stuck with her for so many hours a day, or I'm stuck with him, right? So who can give me one reason, all right? And guys, I'm going to need you to write either in the comments if you are on Facebook, or if you are right here, I'm going to need you to tell me, what do you think is number one reason why people don't have more intimacy in their life or relationship in general? So type in the chat box, okay? You all saw your chat box, right? Or just you can unmute yourself and say it, or write in the comments on Facebook. What's the number one reason why people don't have more intimacy in their life or relationship in general? Because we can have intimacy even with ourselves, right? As Reina was talking about self-love, we can create intimate moment with ourselves. Lack of attractions, awesome. Thank you, Jita, I appreciate that. Yes, they don't have energy. Lack of attraction and kick. Sorry, I didn't see the kick, Jita, sorry. They don't have energy, yes. Work pressure, that's right. Thank you. All right, so nobody's saying COVID. Nobody's blaming COVID for it. That's good. All right, so I'm not seeing the Facebook, so I don't know if anybody's actually writing their COVID. But yes, it's not actually COVID, right? So COVID, money, jobs, kids, or any other challenging situation, right, that we might have in life, it is definitely not the reason why we are, we are not having intimacy in our life. Can you see the PowerPoint presentation, everyone? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So, hold on a second. So the number one reason why actually people are lacking, intimacy is actually the lack of relationship skills. And this is what I found out, because think about it, right? Yes, I do know that polarity matters, right? And like most people start losing polarity, in their life, which eventually leads to resentment and the feeling of, or maybe the feeling of incompatibility, right? But what I mean by lack of relationship skills is that what we learn from our parents, from our friends, from, an auntie, from our family in general, right, really sucks. Who agrees that we were not taught in school, relationship skills? How to deal, how to deal with problems in a relationship, or how to understand our partner. I don't know about you, but I certainly didn't learn that at school, right? Which blows my mind, because the truth is that a relationship is everything in our life. Like when I started coaching, I started with depression and anxiety. And then I realized there was one common denominator in all of them. People that were depressed or had massive anxiety, they actually had really bad relationships, or they had no relationships, or they thought they didn't have any relationships. So, the lack of relationship, once you understand what you have to do to build polarity, what you have to do to maintain, the attraction, right, and the kick, as Jitesh was saying, then you get to actually, make some progress in your relationship. Now, let's just see, when it comes to those couples that have been, you know, together for quite a bit, right? They tend to learn as they go those relationship skills. So what happens is, you know, you go into one relationship, is not working, you learn something from it, and then you go in another one and another one and another one. Unfortunately, that also leads to hurt, betrayal, and lots of fears, right? Like fear of abandonment, fear of not being loved, fear of being alone, or not feeling good enough. So we start to have, you know, a whole bunch of limiting beliefs that we carry with us, you know, from one relationship to another. And most times we don't learn positive learnings from those relationships. We learn how to shut down, how to pull away, withdraw, how to not be honest, how to not be vulnerable or authentic, right? So what happens is that all these fears are literally shutting us down and is making us focus on the negative aspect of a partner, you know, in a relationship. So I want you to write this down, all right? So can you write this down, please, everyone? Everything has duality. Everything has duality, right? Now, what is duality? What is duality? Simply put, the duality is the nature in which anything and everything holds opposite truths. And it's all fine. It's all true. Now, what do I mean by that? How can everything be fine and how can it be a good and a bad? Well, it is. If you think about it, everything has a positive and a negative. There's light and you have dark. There's love and you have hate. There's like and dislike, right? And something can be, let's say, small or big, depending on what you are comparing to. So it's all in the perspective of the viewer. And your partner can be good or bad compared to who you're comparing him or her. Is that true? Right? So our partners also have good and bad traits, and somehow after a while, unfortunately, most people end up focusing mostly on the bad. Tony Robbins says that what you focus on expands, and isn't that true? Now, before I tell you what builds intimacy, right, I have to tell you what shuts it down, because as I said, everything has duality, right? So get ready to write this down, okay? Grab your pens, and I want you to write this down. What shuts down the intimacy for women? Write it down, please. Men, write this down so you know. And women, you have to write it down too, because that's how you can tell the men, okay, who are waiting for you at home or who are about to date you if you're single. Now, for the feminine energy, for the females, what we have that shuts down first is feeling unseen. When a woman is feeling unseen, right, she shuts down. Now, what's the antidote to that is give her attention all the time. Now, I want you to think about like what that will mean, because that sounds a bit tiring, right? All the men are pulling their hair out thinking like, oh my gosh, like what do I have to do? Presence all the time? Like seriously, attention? Like, oh, like I'm already with her 24 hours a day now because it's COVID and I'm stuck at home. Just kidding. All right, so let's just talk about waking up in the morning. You wake up in the morning and before you leave the bed, you give her a cuddle. That doesn't cost much. It doesn't take a lot of time, okay? You don't get out of bed before you really tell her, I love you so much. Thank you for last night if you had sex, let's just say, right? If you didn't, then, well, maybe this is an opportunity to try. If you put 50, if you can lead to that or with that to start the day, imagine how the rest of the day is going to be like. Send her a text during the day. And you know what? Sometimes women can wake up with their hair quite crazy. I don't know about you ladies, but I certainly do sometimes, right? So tell her how beautiful she is, even if her hair is messy. Tell her how beautiful she is, even if she's in her track pants. And tell her that she's beautiful, even if she put on some weight. It will really matter to her. And that's how she will start to feel seen. So if you send her a text, even let's just say that let's just say you are at home right now, right? Because it's COVID. You might be in the kitchen and she's in the bedroom, and you can send her a sexy text message. Now, how cool is that? I don't know about you, but that always turns me on or makes me at least smile when my boyfriend does that. So you can tell her, that you appreciate her food, whatever what she cooked for you, or how she dealt with the kids situation. It's the small things that will make her feel like you see all the stuff that she does, throughout the day. And if you have a wife that stays at home, most of the time you might not see what she does, and she feels like you don't understand her. Okay, and that is the second reason why a woman might shut down, because she might feel not understood. Now, what's the antidote of that? Give her real presence all the time. Again, what that means is eye contact. A lot of people, I see this all the time in couples, they don't spend enough time having eye contact. Like, really stop her in the house, whatever way she's going, just stop her and tell her, hey, I just want to give you a kiss, right? So just make her feel seen, make her feel like you are ready to check to see how she is at all times, right? Sorry, I just clicked. Okay, so you are ready to see, you are ready to actually see her and understand her, what she's going through. You want to give her the presence, you want to tell her how she is, and you want to also tell her, right, what is it that you can help her with. Most of the times when you ask her, hey, how are you okay? She might say, I'm fine. How many of you have got that from your wife? I'm fine, right? Men, do you get that? Women, do you do that? Do you say, I'm fine? Now, do you know how many people say, I don't lie, but he's lying? Well, ladies, yes, you lie too, all right? And I'm guilty of that as well. We all lie at one point, or another in our life, and that's an easy way to lie, when you say, I'm fine. Tell him, the truth, tell him how you feel so he knows, and he knows what to do about it. Okay, I think I just deleted one of my slides, but that's okay. Things happen, it's COVID. I'm gonna blame COVID. All right, so feeling understood makes it very easy when you're there for her and she knows it. When you spend time with her, and when you're really, really insisting on her telling you. If she wants some time, give her some time, but try to get to the bottom, the root cause of why she's actually upset. Because men, you probably know by now, the main reason why she's upset is actually not the real reason. It's probably an accumulation of things. So a third reason is feeling unsafe. Now, a woman can feel unsafe in many ways, and what you need to do in order to reverse that is to give her reassurance. Maybe it's financially, maybe she doesn't know how to deal with the situation. You have to be specific and find out and identify what exactly is that she's feeling unsafe about it. So have a conversation with her, create that time for you to talk about it, so you can actually have that understanding and safe feeling. Now let's talk about men, of course, because they also shut down. I don't know if you knew or not, but they also shut down. So what shuts down a man? Number one, feeling criticized. Man, can you make the noise or type in the chat box? How do you feel when you feel criticized, or when she tells you what to do? How do you feel when she tells you what to do? Ooh, not that good, isn't it? All right. So ladies, the solution to that is to admire and appreciate. Use love languages. Tell them how amazing they are. Praise them for what they do. Right? When you're going to do that, they'll be able to actually feel better with you. And when they feel better with you, they want to spend more time with you. Right? So, all right. So the number two reason of why men might shut down is, well, when the woman is feeling close and when she shuts down. Now, men, how do you feel when she doesn't want to talk and you're trying and you don't know what to do? Criticizing leads to respect. That's right. Thank you, Jitas. Absolutely. So when a woman doesn't feel safe and she shuts down or pulls away, the man doesn't have any clue where he can go from there, right? He has absolutely no idea, what can I do now? How can I make it? Because a man that's in love, it's a man that wants to please the woman. But if he doesn't have a clue of what's wrong because the woman doesn't open up, right, then he will be in the dark and eventually shut down himself. So the antidote is to be open, playful, and vulnerable. Tell him the truth. Tell him what is happening, and you have to, as Raina was saying, you have to have that self-love. You have to know how to create a powerful, and loving emotional state, which is some of the things that I teach in my coaching, right? In order to be able to be open and playful regardless what's happening around. Now, the third reason of why men can shut down, right, and the antidote of how to create more intimacy in their life is, men shut down when they feel controlled. Now, that can come from a simple fact that you're trying to help and you tell them what to do. And men, how do you feel when she tells you what to do or how to fix a problem? Nah, not really good, isn't it? So what we have to do is we need to actually give them freedom, give them love, and trust them. They are going to deal with that situation their own way, and you have to be okay with that, okay? Because he is his own person, okay? And he is not you, and as long as the result is achieved, then that should be okay. Now, here's the thing. Most of the times in our relationships, we end up feeling resentment, right? Now, what's resentment? Resentment is the feeling of being treated unfairly, and I'll be only a couple of minutes. I just want to address this because I feel like this is such a major issue in so many couples, right? And when you're stuck at home during a tough time like COVID, right? Having resentment makes it very hard to communicate, right? Because you feel resentment is the feeling of being treated unfairly, right? For example, I do this for you and you're not doing this for me, or what happens is because I don't understand why you didn't do it or why you said what you said, I start to question your intent. Right? And now, because I question your intent, I also create a story in my head because I have no idea what's really happening. And you're not telling me, and I'm not asking because I don't want to start an argument. So I'm starting a story and I make it about me, right? And you have no idea I'm doing that. So I create these stories in my head about why you did that, why you didn't do something, or what you just said. And now I'm attaching a meaning to it. And the meaning will make me feel a certain way, sad, angry, frustrated, irritated, shut down. So now my behavior is changing, and that's going to, unfortunately influence your behavior as well. So the solution to that is to stay open and vulnerable. And you have to tell the complete truth about how you feel and the meaning you're giving to what is happening. You have to help your partner to open up again and to understand what is happening with you, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. You need to create that mutual patterns of openness, connection, and love. I had to learn myself in my relationship that I have to show up and be honest to my partner no matter what. And one thing that I want you to write down is love languages. If you don't know about it, Google it right now. There are 5 love languages: words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, physical touch, and quality time. Now, fulfill your partner's human needs by using their love languages. One big problem that people do is they are showing love to their partner in a way that makes sense to them and is not making sense to their partner. Here's the last thing that I want to leave you with, and I want you to pay attention right now. Sexual intimacy doesn't start in one moment. If you wait till 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock for the kids to fall asleep so you can go and have sex, it's probably not going to happen, or is not going to happen the way you want it, because it's an accumulation of things, okay, over the day, a build up. You have to build up the sexual tension in order to get there. Because I can tell you many times, I so want, my partner comes over, we're having dinner, I so want to have sex, and then, by 10 o'clock, if I'm not taking a decision and we don't have interaction between us, anything small, a cuddle, a kiss, a wave, or a playfulness, by 10 o'clock when my son goes to bed, unfortunately, I am not in the mood to have sex anymore. So it builds up during the day. It starts with understanding and being open and vulnerable. Write it down, tattoo it on your arm, on your forehead. Vulnerability is huge. And this is me. Sorry, I think I went over my 15 minutes. I apologize. But thank you so much for the time. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thank you. Appreciate, this opportunity.
I think she covered all the points where I could relate with multiple points.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot, Christine. I think people will slowly open up more.
Hopefully. Awareness is everything, isn't it? Once we have the awareness of what's behind the scenes, we have more willingness to communicate in a way that's not blaming and criticizing, right?
Thank you.
I would like to add a point.
Yes, Jitesh is adding up. Yes, Jitesh. Yeah.
So I appreciate Christine to be very transparent in what you said, and that is one of the very lacking subjects in an Indian context. I should bravely say this is a very lacking subject. People don't really dare to speak about sexual intimacy, especially in these kind of sessions. And I'm really, really happy that you brought it up. Most of the relationships lack sexual intimacy, and then they crumble down over a period of time because the physical energy is badly lacking. The physical stimulation is badly lacking because of discomfort with the body, discomfort with the fitness, discomfort with the attraction quotient. So there are many layers involved in the overall intimacy, and all of this needs to be plugged in when that dual conversation happens between both the partners in acknowledging, embracing, and figuring out the means and sources of attraction. That is one of the most important parts which most of the couples fail to, but they write it on the wall that everything is running great, but inside there is a whole big bag of vacuum. And that needs to be attended. And you have very brightly brought the subject, which is very conservatively spoken in an Indian context. So I really appreciate that you brought it up. And I hope participants got the message. And this can be taken more seriously and worked upon with the partner with a more intimate communication.
Hello, I'm Niharika, Success Manager at StrongHumanNetwork. We keep posting a lot of content which helps a person lead a strong human lifestyle. So if you wish to lead a strong human lifestyle and be the best version of yourself, do subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. We'll see you there. Thank you.